No contact and the psychopath. I'm on my bike, y'all. So if you hear any noise in the background, that's my bike at the house. So yeah, I mean, no contact is a necessary thing. But you know what? You always wonder, well, what happened to them? Did they ever get it back? What they ditched out? You won't know that if you're in complete no contact. You just won't know. You won't find out that after they smacked you in the back really hard, within days or a week of that happening, somebody smacked them in the back really hard. So you won't find that out if you're in no contact. I mean, just thank the Lord nobody got hurt. But at the same time, communicate, okay? I mean, because we always think, well, they're just doing so well. The psychopath got it going on, and I tried to help them, and they did this to me, and I got smacked across my face, or I got hit really hard in the back. But this is the thing with these kind of situations, y'all. The psychopath will think when they're the aggressor that the other person is taking excessive force, right? Like, well, I just slapped them, but they hit me too hard. They just don't get it. I mean, stop being the aggressor. Stop hitting people. Stop messing with people that's at peace and that's minding their business. But however, if you're in no contact, you'll never know what happened. And it's not that you're glad it happened. It's just that, especially when you're someone with a faith level and you're the type of person where you're not into that getting somebody arrested for everything that they do. If you're the type of person where you give people chances, it'll come back to them sometimes just like they ditch it out. It just will. However, what's sad is the psychopath may not even think about what they did to you, even though they got it back in the exact same way. And in those situations, just be silent. You don't always have to say anything. I mean, you don't always have to say, well, remember 15 years ago when you stepped on my toe and now you're mad that something dropped on yours and broke your toe? So you just got to look at it like that, because people just have to experience things in different ways. However, when you're the one that has the genuine heart and you genuinely want to help people, I mean, because whether somebody be a psychopath or not, and remember, if they're a psychopath, they're also a narcissist, okay? So it's inbuilt. The narcissism is inbuilt in the psychopathy. You're not going to be diagnosed as both. They're not going to say you're a narcissist and a psychopath. They're just going to say, okay, you're a psychopath. But that's just how they think. You know, they don't think that things are going to come back around. The psychopath will struggle with understanding why somebody reacted the way they did. Because at the end of the day, most of the time, the psychopath is not just sitting there and people are randomly walking up to them, smacking on them. I mean, a man or woman could be just sitting there drinking their coffee, and the psychopath will just walk up, knock their coffee down, or knock their coffee off the table, whatever they're drinking. It could be water. I mean, if that psychopath is in an extremely bad mood, they'll just do it, and don't make it be a situation where the psychopath is on some kind of drugs. So that will increase their violence and harassment level, because basically that's what they're doing. I mean, when people are sitting in buildings, they're sitting outside, they're minding their business. Many times they will even have their back turned to the psychopath. and the psychopath will just attack. However, if the person responds with a higher level of violence than the psychopath doesn't understand why. Well, I just slapped him or her, but they came back and blacked my eye. Okay, but at the end of the day, when you have empathy, you're looking at it like this person that you slapped that blacked your eye, they could have killed you, man or woman. I mean, you could have been killed for attacking this random person, whether they're doing it outside when people are eating and drinking in the summertime, whether they're doing it at school facilities, libraries, wherever they're doing it at. I mean, psychopaths just harass people. Okay. And that's why sometimes when you out, you got to be looking a little crazy. Don't be just looking around, looking all peaceful every second. I mean, there's nothing wrong with looking peaceful, right? But be aware of your surroundings. You got to have that look like, man or woman, I'm waiting on you. Don't look so friendly when you're drinking your coffee. Strangers start walking around you while you're drinking your coffee, start tapping your feet. You got to let people know you got a little anxiety. Like, this ain't the coffee or water you want to knock over, sir or ma'am. So just remember that. Just have a good soul and always pray for everybody, whether they're a psychopath or whatever, because at the end of the day, they got all these terms for these illnesses. But at the end of the day, at some point in all of our lives, we've been a little psychopathic. Okay, I don't care if it was when you was a teenager, when you was 2 years old. Everybody's had an episode. It's just some people's are more severe than others. However, that will be the struggle with the psychopath, is trying to understand why people are getting a little bit more aggressive, instead of them thanking the Lord that this person didn't take full aggression. Because the fullest aggression that somebody could take upon a psychopath that the psychopath is harassing or randomly abusing for no reason is they take the psychopath's life. But if that's not happening and there's a little bit more force used and the psychopath is not hospitalized, they're not brutally beat, their bones aren't broken, they haven't been shot, I don't consider it extreme force. I think that people need to let psychopaths know, or anybody know, that it's not okay to be randomly abusing them, hitting them, knocking their things over when they're in public, and all sorts of other things, name calling. However, the psychopath just also struggles with, there's a difference between a verbal altercation and a physical one. So a lot of times, if you say the wrong word to somebody, you can walk away from that because you don't know nowadays if somebody's going to pull out a gun or what they're going to do. However, when a psychopath gets physical with someone, they just don't understand why people can't walk away and why people retaliate physically with a little bit more force than they did, because they got physical. It goes back to that old saying, words. Let me see, what was that old saying? Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Which, that's a lie. Words can't hurt you. But the point of the old saying or quote was basically, what I take from it is you should be able to ignore words, But when somebody puts their hands on you, it's harder to ignore. I hope this makes sense. So this is just my theory of the no contact issue, along with going over how the psychopath looks at their aggression and them starting the thing. Okay, that's the thing that they just lose sight of. I mean, they're starting it. But over time, other people will talk to them or whatever. And like I said, there are times in all of our lives where we do things that are just not appropriate. Okay. However, the younger the psychopath is, the better how can I say this? Basically, the worst thing is when a psychopath gets too old and they get stuck in their ways. It's better for them to learn consequences when they're younger and come out of that situation and stop acting like a psychopath. Because at the end of the day, I mean, when you're running around starting stuff and you're not doing things that the Most High or God would want us to be doing, our God in heaven, then you're basically playing into evil energy, okay? And you could call it demonic or whatever you want to call it, but that's all being a psychopath is. I mean, at the end of the day, you're playing into the evil energy of the world. And that can be fixed through a faith level if you're young enough. So anybody that's acting like a psychopath, stop it. Start doing your prayers. And if you have any of these type of family members or friends that are close around you, just pray for them and try to get them into some kind of prayer. In these type of cases, these type of people will need religion, or it will be best if they're in some kind of good religion to kind of get that psychopathy down so they can maintain and function in life and mature. Okay, I hope this makes sense. I'm on this bike, y'all. Anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Love you.